He explained neuroplasticity to me and how, okay, you could get brain damage and like holes in your head and, you know, concussion. So it actually, you can actually heal the holes in your head. It looks like Swiss cheese in there. A lot of these football players get like that too. The poor guys, I mean, they get depressed.
Hormonal imbalance, pituitary glands fucked up.
Oh, yeah. It's him and about 1,000 highly qualified scientists and physicians commenting on the whole situation. So when you read it, it's a pretty convincing document.
When you do read it and you go, if this is true, what the fuck is going on? And how is that monster still loose?
Yeah. Oh, well.
And he seems like a monster. The way he talks about things, he just seems... Well, first of all, there's so many instances of him lying. There's so many, like, where he said one thing, 2 years later it turns out to be a lie. Said one, like, whether it is the natural
mask thing, or
the mask thing, whether it's the natural spillover, you know, the lies about gain of function to Congress. You know,
sure.
When he was lying to Rand Paul about whether or not they did gain of function research, like, how is that not perjury? How is he not in trouble?
Yeah. Well, hey, other mysteries, you know. It's exactly what I needed, and I don't know why it was there. That's weird, isn't it?
That's very weird. So
Very
you used the coat hanger to wire up your muffler?
Yep. I cut a piece of wire, wired the muffler up. The whole time, more guys are coming.
Jesus
and
Christ.
They're standing behind me, and I'm feeling like, oh. And anyway, I get up, I finish the muffler, slam, and I'm acting mad and crazy the whole time. And they think this guy's nuts. And I get back to the car, and my wife gives me a handful of cash. And I thought, what's this? She says, it's just 5s and 1s. Give it to him. So I threw it and drove off. But it was like, it was looking hairy for a minute. And you never know. So there's a lot of mercy.
What about people that never experience Christianity? What about the
That's
uncontacted people?
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Some guy in the jungle.
Yeah.
It's been known that it's called invincible ignorance because they don't know what the truth is. You know? It's possible that they can be saved as well.
Like, if this guy's correct, he's a tenured professor at the University of California, Berkeley, who is, like, his work on cancer is, you know, everybody thinks it's groundbreaking work, brilliant doctor, but he was a heretic. He was a guy who stood outside of Fauci's doctrine and the narrative, and he said, I don't believe that HIV is what's causing this, when all these people that are having these immune systems are all heavy drug users.
Yeah, well, that's right.
He's like, I think this is a disease of a decimation of the immune system due to heavy drug use.
You know, I opened the trunk, and this is the weird part, Joe. I will never quite understand this. I opened the trunk to see what I could find to help me put the muffler back on. And sitting there, the only two things in the back of the trunk was a pair of wire cutters and a coat hanger. It's exactly what I needed, and I don't know why it was there. That's weird, isn't it?
That's very weird. So you used the coat hanger to wire up your muffler?
Yep. I cut a piece of wire, wired the muffler up. The whole time, more guys are coming. I was like, I should probably feel like this about all these guys, but I don't know them as well.
It becomes a problem for me when I'm friends with a guy. And then also I see when they're on the tail end of their career and they can't take shots anymore. And then when you talk to them, you recognize the speech patterns are slurring. Yeah.
Yeah, I met Muhammad Ali when he was in a chair, you know.
Oof.
And, man, I don't know if I could even tell this story. What he said was so funny. But he was still in there, and he was still a little devil. And he was like, and he was still fucking with people.
Of course.
But it was like, I can't tell this story.
You can't?
No, man.
Okay. Well, footnote it. Tell me later.
I'll tell you later. It is funny. But it was my assistant, you know, is what he said to my assistant. Which is interesting to note that he used to take hydroxychloroquine when he get a malaria attack.
Isn't that crazy?
And then when my doctor recommended I get it when I had COVID, they gouged me $800. It used to cost him $30. They wanted $800 for that. They were gouging.
Well, not only that, when Trump talked about it, then all of a sudden they demonized it.
Yeah, they laughed.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's an antiviral.
It works.
Yeah, it works on malaria.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
people have been taking it forever.
Sure, pregnant women can take it if they
Yeah.
have the flu, and it doesn't hurt the baby. It's
Yeah.
pretty safe. It's like ivermectin.
But that's what's so bizarre about the time that we just went through, because there's more information now available to people instantaneously than ever before.
Yeah.
You look it up on your phone, you instantly know, oh, ivermectin, the guy who created it won the Nobel Prize.
Yeah. 2014
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
15. Yeah, for
What?
use in human beings.
Yeah. And you put a radioactive tracer in me,
Whoa.
and to photograph my brain.
Right,
He works with a lot
MRI,
of,
right?
Yeah, he works with a lot of football players and guys who've
Okay.
had brain injuries. Man, it's thirsty in here. But so he looks at my brain and he was like, and he opens the file and I'm in there with the guy and he looks up and he goes, "Are you okay?" And he goes, first he went like this. And I said, "What?" And he went, "Are you okay?" Like that. And I said, "Yeah, I think so." And he came over and he sat next to me, but very slowly and cautiously. And he said, "No, you're not." And I said, "What do you mean?" And so that tells you that the pre-classic civilization was bigger and grander and more sophisticated than the civilizations that came after it.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Well, it is unbelievable how, like, when you the accounts of like people that visited Mexico and visited the Aztecs, like what the markets looked like and how insane it was and how gorgeous it was, and then
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
disease.
Yeah, disease, or I don't know if it was disease or what. I think the people were pretty dissatisfied. It would have been hard for Cortez, with his limited numbers, to actually take over a civilization like that unless they kind of happened upon a civilization that was pretty dissatisfied with the way things were going.
Yeah.
So I think they had people to help them sort of
I'm
rebel.
sure.
Yeah.
When
He says, "You got the worst case of PTSD I have ever seen." And I said, "You mean like even worse than guys in war and shit like that?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he says, "You're not okay."
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, I started to well up, like, no, I'm not. It's like,
Oh boy.
and it was, he had a very miraculous and great remedy for it, which was to eat a bunch of fish oil, vitamin B complex, and get into a hyperbaric chamber for 40 sessions. It fixed my head.
Really? So what do you think things like Göbekli Tepe are when they find these constructions that are dated, carbon dated to 11,000 plus years old?
I question carbon dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
There's-
that makes
there's
things
a
a lot
lot-
simpler.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of money in claims and I don't know. Where's the water?
Water's there. Yeah. Well, carbon dating seems to be pretty rock solid studies.
Yeah.
I mean, the science behind radiocarbon dating and detecting carbon isotopes. It's like that's pretty legit.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't square it.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to.
And I don't have to. And
Yeah.
what difference is it going to make to me?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's it doesn't make a difference in terms of your experience in this life on Earth.
But that's not the only reason I buy it. I mean, I think, there's other logical reasons why I believe. So,
Like, what are those?
oh, okay. Stuff that happens in your own life. The results you get from actually appealing to a power greater than yourself, And, I mean, I don't think it's any secret. I am flawed in the fact that I am by nature born an alcoholic, right? I did drugs, I did alcohol, so, and there was nothing that could stop me from doing that. Nothing. So I was really kind of you're on a downhill run. So I regard the fact that I was able to appeal to something greater than myself to help me and actually stop me doing that.